Let's kick things off with myth number 1, the belief that a wagging tail is the universal sign of a happy dog. This common idea is dangerously misleading, as a tail wag is simply a sign of emotional arousal, which can range from excitement to aggression. Pay attention to the type of wag. A high, stiff, fast wag can signal a threat, while a relaxed, full-body wag is more likely friendly. The tail's position is crucial canine body language, communicating its state of mind. So before reaching out, always look at the whole dog, not just its tail. Myth number 2 is the classic saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. This suggests senior dogs are set in their ways, but it couldn't be further from the truth, as dogs are capable of learning throughout their entire lives. While an older dog might learn at a different pace, positive reinforcement techniques work just as well as they do for puppies. Their brains remain responsive, and training provides vital mental stimulation that keeps them sharp. Never give up on your golden oldie. They might just surprise you. Now for myth number 3, which revolves around the misconception that shaving a fluffy double-coated dog will keep it cooler. Paradoxically, this action can actually make them hotter and puts them at risk of sunburn. A double coat is a natural insulation system, trapping a layer of cool air against their skin in the summer. It also protects them from harmful UV rays and insect bites. Instead of shaving, keep them cool by brushing regularly, providing shade, and ensuring they have plenty of water. At number 4, we tackled the pervasive myth that you must be the alpha or pack leader to your dog. This theory was based on flawed studies of captive wolves and simply doesn't apply to our domesticated companions. Dogs see us as caregivers, not as rival pack members they need to dominate. Alpha methods often create fear and anxiety, damaging the bond you share. True leadership isn't about dominance, it's about being a benevolent guide who provides clear rules and positive reinforcement. Myth number 5 is the surprisingly persistent idea that a dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's. The truth is, a dog's mouth is teeming with its own unique ecosystem of bacteria, just like ours. While most of a dog's oral germs aren't harmful to humans, their mouths are certainly not sterile. They use their mouths to clean themselves and pick things up from the ground. Regular dental care is far more important for your dog's health than believing in this popular fallacy. Next up is myth number 6, which suggests you should let a new puppy cry it out at night. This is an outdated approach that can create long-term anxiety. A crying puppy isn't being manipulative, it's genuinely distressed from being separated from its family for the first time. Ignoring their cries teaches them that you are not a source of comfort or security. Instead, make their crate a safe haven and keep it close, building the trust that leads to a confident adult dog. Myth number 7 is about the belief that a big backyard is a perfect substitute for daily walks. However, a yard is just a bigger version of the house, a familiar space that quickly becomes boring. Dogs don't typically run laps by themselves. They need the mental stimulation from the new sights, sounds, and smells of a walk. A structured walk also prevents boredom-related behaviors and strengthens your bond. A yard is a great bonus, but it can never replace daily engagement with you. Let's address myth number 8, the dangerous and pervasive claim that pit bulls have locking jaws. Anatomically, there is no such thing as a locking jaw mechanism in any dog breed. Their jaw structure is identical to that of other dogs. They simply possess strong jaw muscles and a tenacious nature. This myth fuels unfair stereotypes and ignores the fact that a dog's behavior is shaped by training and socialization, not a mythical physical trait. Myth number 9 claims that using treats for training is simple bribery. This view misunderstands the fundamental principle of how animals learn. Using treats is not bribery. It's payment for a job well done, just like a salary for a person. It creates a powerful positive association with training and motivates the dog to want to work with you. Over time, as a behavior becomes learned, you can phase out treats, but they remain an excellent tool for teaching new skills. Moving on to myth number 10, The idea that a growl is pure aggression that must be punished immediately. While a growl can be frightening, it is not aggression itself. It's a critical warning signal. A growling dog is communicating its discomfort and asking for space. Punishing a growl teaches your dog not to give a warning before it escalates to a snap or a bite. You should respect the growl, remove the dog from the situation, and address the underlying cause of its stress. Myth number 11 is the common belief that grain-free diets are inherently healthier for all dogs. Fueled by marketing, this idea overlooks the fact that most dogs digest grains perfectly well. More importantly, the FDA has investigated a potential link between some grain-free diets and a serious heart condition called dilated cardiomyopathy. Unless your dog has a specific diagnosed grain allergy, there is often no medical reason to avoid grains. Always consult your vet first. Have you heard myth number 12? It's the one that says comforting a fearful dog only reinforces their fear. This stems from a misunderstanding of how emotions work. Fear is an involuntary response, not a learned behavior that can be reinforced. When a dog is scared, comforting it provides security and support, helping them cope. Ignoring a scared dog can actually heighten their anxiety as they feel abandoned when they need you most. Myth number 13 addresses the popular but incorrect idea that senior dogs don't need much exercise or mental stimulation. As dogs age, their energy may decrease, but their need for engagement doesn't disappear. Regular, gentle exercise helps maintain muscle mass and keeps joints mobile. Likewise, mental stimulation from puzzle toys and training games keeps their minds active and can slow cognitive decline. Keeping your senior dog engaged is key to a happy and healthy life. At number 14, we have the classic myth that dogs see the world in black and white. This old-school idea has been thoroughly debunked by science. Dogs do see color, just not in the same way that humans do. Their color vision is most similar to that of a person with red-green colorblindness. They see the world primarily in shades of blue, yellow, and gray, which is why blue and yellow toys are often easiest for them to spot. Myth number 15 revolves around the misconception that playing tug-of-war will make a dog aggressive. In reality, a structured game of tug is an excellent way to burn energy, build confidence, and strengthen your bond. It's a healthy outlet for their natural instincts. The key is to establish rules, such as teaching a drop-it cue and ensuring the game stops if their teeth touch your skin. When played correctly, it's a fantastic game, not a recipe for aggression. Let's tackle myth number 16, the notion that alpha rolls are an effective training technique. This is an incredibly dangerous and outdated practice based on the flawed alpha theory. Forcing a dog onto its back is not how you earn respect. It's how you incite fear and defensive aggression. It breaks their trust in you and dramatically increases the risk of you getting bitten. True canine leaders almost never use physical force this way. Next up is myth number 17, which claims that shelter dogs are broken or have too much behavioral baggage. This stigma prevents countless wonderful dogs from finding homes. The vast majority of dogs end up in shelters for reasons that have nothing to do with their behavior, such as a family moving or financial hardship. Shelter dogs are not broken, they are just unlucky. With patience and love, these resilient animals become the most grateful and devoted companions. Myth number 18 is about the idea that a dog's guilty look is a sign of remorse. We've all seen it, but your dog isn't feeling guilt about the cushion it destroyed. What you're actually seeing is a reaction to your body language and tone of voice. This look is a canine appeasement behavior, a dog's way of saying, "I see you're upset, please don't be angry with me." They are masters at reading our immediate reactions, but not at connecting them to past events. Myth number 19 is the old wives' tale that it's healthier for a female dog to have one litter before being spayed. This has absolutely no basis in veterinary science. There are zero health or behavioral benefits to letting a dog have a litter. In fact, spaying a dog before her first heat cycle dramatically reduces her risk of mammary cancer and eliminates the risk of uterine infections. This myth only contributes to pet overpopulation and puts the mother dog at risk. At number 20, we have the myth that a dog who destroys things is acting out of spite. It can feel personal, but your dog is not capable of premeditative revenge. Destructive behavior when left alone is almost always a symptom of separation anxiety, boredom, or a lack of exercise. They are not trying to get back at you for leaving, they are trying to cope with the stress they feel. Addressing the underlying anxiety is the only way to solve the problem. Myth number 21 suggests that crate training is cruel and is like putting your dog in jail. When done correctly, however, a crate is the exact opposite of a prison. Dogs are natural den animals, and a crate provides them with a safe, quiet space of their own where they can retreat and feel secure. It's an invaluable tool for house training, travel, and preventing destructive behavior. The key is to introduce it positively with treats and toys, never using it as a form of punishment. Let's debunk myth number 22, the idea that all dogs are destined to love the dog park. While some dogs thrive in that high-energy, free-for-all environment, many find it overwhelming and stressful. For a shy, fearful, or older dog, a dog park can be a terrifying experience filled with rude and pushy strangers. It's important to know your dog's individual personality and stress signals. A walk with a canine friend or a small, supervised playgroup can be a much better option for many dogs. Myth number 23 is the belief that dogs are constantly trying to dominate you and every other dog they meet. This is another fallacy born from the outdated alpha theory. Most canine interactions are not about establishing a rigid hierarchy. They are about communicating and navigating social situations. Behaviors often labeled as dominant, like jumping up or pulling on the leash, are usually signs of excitement, poor manners, or anxiety. A dog's primary goal is to feel safe and secure, not to rule its world. Moving on to myth number 24, which claims that rubbing a dog's nose in a potty accident is an effective house training method. This is a cruel and completely ineffective technique that only creates fear. Your dog cannot connect the punishment to the act of eliminating inside, especially if it happened minutes or hours ago. All this method teaches your dog is that you are unpredictable and scary, and it may lead them to hide from you when they need to go. Positive reinforcement for successful potty trips outside is the only method that truly works. The subject of myth number 25 is the simple formula that 1 human year equals 7 dog years. This popular ratio is a massive oversimplification of how dogs age. Dogs mature much faster than humans in their first 2 years, and then the aging process slows down. A 1-year-old dog is more like a 15-year-old human, not a 7-year-old. Furthermore, smaller breeds tend to live longer and age more slowly than giant breeds. Have you heard myth number 26? It's the one that says a dog licking you is always a sign of affection, or kisses. While licking can certainly be a sign of affection, it has many other meanings in the canine world. It can be a sign of submission or appeasement, a way of gathering information from your skin, or a self-soothing behavior. Pay attention to the context and the dog's overall body language. It might be a kiss, or it might be the dog's way of saying, "I'm a little nervous." Next up is myth number 27, which states that a dog who doesn't obey a command is being stubborn or willfully defiant. In most cases, the dog isn't making a conscious choice to disrespect you. The more likely reasons are that the dog doesn't truly understand the command, is too distracted by the environment, or is feeling scared or stressed. Instead of labeling the dog as stubborn, consider if you need to practice more in a quieter setting or make the reward more motivating. Myth number 28 revolves around the human-centric idea that dogs enjoy being hugged and patted on the head. While some dogs learn to tolerate it from trusted people, most dogs find both of these actions threatening. A hug can feel confining and trapping, while a hand reaching down from above can be intimidating. Most dogs prefer to be pet on the chest or side of their body. Always watch for signs of discomfort, like lip licking, yawning, or turning their head away. At number 29, we have the myth that a warm, dry nose is a sure sign that a dog is sick. A dog's nose temperature and moisture can fluctuate throughout the day for many reasons and are not reliable indicators of health. A dog can have a warm, dry nose after waking up from a nap or after some vigorous exercise. Conversely, a dog can be very sick and still have a cool, wet nose. Look for actual signs of illness, like lethargy, changes in appetite, or vomiting instead. Let's tackle myth number 30, the notion that small dogs don't need much training or exercise. This is a harmful stereotype that often leads to small dogs developing small dog syndrome, yapping, nipping, and other problem behaviors. All dogs, regardless of size, require daily exercise, mental stimulation, and consistent training to be well-behaved companions. A bored terrier can be just as destructive as a bored Labrador. Myth number 31 claims that punishment is more effective than positive reinforcement for getting results. While punishment can stop a behavior in the short term, it often creates long-term problems like fear, anxiety, and aggression. It tells the dog what not to do, but doesn't teach them what you want them to do instead. Positive reinforcement builds a strong, trusting relationship and motivates the dog to want to work with you, creating a happy and confident learner. The popular belief in myth number 32 is that a dog humping is always a dominant act. While it can be, humping is more often a sign of over-arousal, excitement, or even stress. It's a common displacement behavior, much like a person fidgeting when they're nervous. It's also a normal part of play for many dogs. Punishing the behavior without addressing the underlying excitement or anxiety won't solve the problem. Myth number 33 addresses the idea that you must forbid your dog from the furniture to establish your dominance. This is another myth tied to the flawed alpha theory. Whether or not you let your dog on the furniture is a personal choice about house rules, not a statement about your pack status. A dog sleeping on your bed doesn't think it's the leader. It just thinks it's found a comfortable spot next to its favorite person. Consistency is what's important, not the rule itself. Moving on to myth number 34, which suggests that dogs only eat grass when they're trying to make themselves vomit. While this can sometimes be the case, many dogs simply enjoy the taste and texture of grass. For most dogs, it's a completely normal behavior, a bit like a person enjoying a salad. As long as the grass isn't treated with chemicals and the behavior isn't obsessive, a little grazing is usually nothing to worry about. Myth number 35 is the old wives' tale that you can predict a puppy's adult size by looking at its paws. While there can be a slight correlation, this is a very unreliable method. Paw size has more to do with breed genetics than it does with future height or weight. Some breeds are just bred to have larger feet for their original jobs. The best way to estimate adult size is to look at the puppy's parents and breed standards. Let's debunk myth number 36, the idea that a dog's breed is the #1 predictor of its personality. While breed can give you clues about general energy levels or instincts, it's far from a guarantee. Individual personality, training, socialization, and life experiences play a much larger role in shaping a dog's behavior. Thinking a golden retriever will automatically be a perfect family dog without training is just as foolish as thinking every pit bull is aggressive. Myth number 37 is the common but false assumption that a dog who loves people will naturally love all other dogs. Unfortunately, dog friendliness and people friendliness are two completely different things. Some dogs are social butterflies with everyone, but many are selective about their canine friends or may have had bad experiences in the past. It's very common for a dog to adore its human family, but be fearful or reactive toward other dogs. Always introduce dogs carefully and never assume they'll get along. At number 38, we have the myth that you must always eat before your dog does to prove you are the alpha. This is yet another ritual derived from flawed wolf pack theories. Your dog doesn't care what time you eat your dinner, it only cares what time it gets its own dinner. This behavior has no impact on your relationship other than making a hungry dog wait. A consistent feeding schedule and training around mealtimes are far more important for creating a well-behaved dog.
The subject of myth number 39 is that staring lovingly into your dog's eyes is a great way to bond. In human culture, this is a sign of affection, but in the canine world, direct and sustained eye contact is often interpreted as a threat or a challenge. While a dog can learn to be comfortable with eye contact from its trusted owner, you should never stare at an unfamiliar dog. A soft gaze and a slow blink are much better ways to communicate your friendly intentions. Next up is myth number 40, which states that you need aversive tools like prong or choke collars to control a large dog. These tools work by causing pain or discomfort to stop a dog from pulling. However, modern training methods and equipment have made them largely unnecessary. A front clip harness, combined with positive reinforcement training to teach loose leash walking, is a much more humane and effective way to manage a strong puller without causing fear or physical harm. Myth number 41 is the dangerous belief that a puppy will simply grow out of bad behaviors. Nipping, jumping, and chewing are not phases that magically disappear with age. They are behaviors that, if not addressed through training and management, will become ingrained adult habits. It's crucial to teach your puppy polite manners and appropriate outlets for their energy from day one. What seems cute in a tiny puppy is much less so in a full-grown dog. Let's tackle myth number 42, the notion that a dog showing its belly is always a sign of submission. While it certainly can be an appeasement gesture, it's not the only meaning. A relaxed dog might roll over simply because it's comfortable and wants a belly rub. In some situations, a dog might even roll over during a tense interaction as a defensive tactic. Context is everything when it comes to reading this particular body language. Myth number 43 claims a dog's sense of smell is about 1,000 times better than ours. This actually undersells their incredible ability by a massive margin. Depending on the breed, a dog's sense of smell is estimated to be 10,000 to 100,000 times more acute than a human's. They possess up to 300 million olfactory receptors in their noses, compared to about 6 million in ours. The part of a dog's brain devoted to analyzing smell is also proportionally 40 times greater than ours. The subject of myth number 44 is that smart breeds like border collies are easy to own. In reality, their high intelligence can make them more challenging pets for the average person. These dogs were bred for complex jobs and require immense amounts of mental stimulation and physical exercise. A bored, intelligent dog will invent its own jobs, which often include hurting children, destroying furniture, or developing neurotic behaviors. Their intelligence is a tool that needs to be properly channeled. Myth number 45 is the hopeful but misguided idea that getting a second dog will fix the problems of your current one. This rarely works and often makes the situation worse. A new dog will not cure the first dog's separation anxiety or aggression. More likely, the new dog will pick up the same bad habits. Now you have 2 dogs with behavior problems instead of 1. Always work to resolve your first dog's issues before even considering adding another to your home. At number 46, we have the old saying that dogs heal themselves by licking their wounds. While a dog's saliva does have some mild antiseptic properties, the benefit is far outweighed by the harm. Excessive licking introduces bacteria, prevents air from reaching the wound, and can damage the tissue, leading to a serious infection or a hot spot. This is why veterinarians often use the cone of shame to prevent licking and allow a wound to heal properly. Next up is myth number 47, which states that you shouldn't bother with training until a puppy is 6 months old. This is completely backward and misses the most critical learning period of a dog's life. The primary socialization window closes around 16 weeks, and basic training can start the day you bring your puppy home. Early training and positive exposure to new things builds a foundation for a confident and well-behaved adult dog. Myth number 48 is about the belief that spaying or neutering is a magic wand for behavior problems. While the procedure can reduce hormone-driven behaviors like roaming, marking, and some forms of aggression, it will not fix issues rooted in fear, anxiety, or lack of training. Spaying or neutering is a crucial part of responsible pet ownership for health reasons. However, it is not a substitute for consistent training and behavior modification. Myth number 49 revolves around the fear that neutering a male dog will make him lose his spirit. This myth is often tied to human projections about masculinity. A dog's core personality, whether he is playful, goofy, or cuddly, is a result of his genetics and upbringing, not his hormones. Neutering will not change his fundamental personality. It will only curb undesirable reproductive behaviors and provide numerous health benefits, like preventing testicular cancer. Let's debunk myth number 50, the idea that you must always win games against your dog to maintain dominance. This simply isn't true and can make games less fun for your pet. Letting your dog win a game of tug-of-war can actually build their confidence and strengthen their desire to play with you. The important thing is that the game is structured and you have control, meaning you can ask the dog to drop it at any time. The subject of myth number 51 is the grim belief that once a biter, always a biter. While a bite history is a serious concern, it doesn't automatically condemn a dog for life. It's crucial to understand the context of the bite. Was the dog scared, in pain, or provoked? With careful management, professional training, and a controlled environment, many dogs can be rehabilitated and live safe, happy lives. Each case must be evaluated individually rather than by a blanket statement. At number 52, we tackle the popular myth that all dogs are natural-born swimmers. While many dogs, like Labradors, are built for the water, many others are not. Brachycephalic, short-nosed breeds, like pugs and bulldogs, can struggle to breathe, and top-heavy breeds can have difficulty staying afloat. Never assume your dog can swim. Always introduce them to water slowly and safely, preferably using a canine life vest. Myth number 53 is an extremely dangerous piece of advice that you should take food away from your dog to prevent food aggression. This action does the exact opposite. It causes resource guarding. By repeatedly taking their food, you teach your dog that your presence during mealtime is a threat to their most valuable resource. This makes them feel the need to guard it fiercely. A better approach is to teach your dog that your approach is a good thing by adding extra tasty treats to their bowl. Let's address myth number 54, the claim that purebred dogs are healthier than mixed breeds. This is generally false. While responsible breeders work to eliminate genetic issues, many purebreds are prone to a host of hereditary conditions due to a limited gene pool. Mixed-breed dogs, on the other hand, often benefit from hybrid vigor, meaning their diverse genetic makeup makes them less likely to inherit breed-specific diseases.
Myth number 55 is about the idea that if a trained dog doesn't obey, it's an act of defiance. This humanizes the dog's behavior in a way that is often inaccurate. More often than not, a dog fails to respond because the environment is too distracting, the dog is feeling stressed or fearful, or the command hasn't been generalized to that specific situation. It's usually a training gap, not a power struggle. The notion behind myth number 56 is that resource guarding makes a dog inherently bad. In reality, resource guarding is a natural, instinctual behavior for a predator. It's a dog's way of communicating that they find an item valuable and don't want to lose it. While it's a behavior that needs to be managed carefully for safety, it doesn't reflect the dog's moral character. It's a problem to be solved with patience and training, not a sign of a bad soul. Have you heard myth number 57? It's the one that claims garlic is a safe, natural flea and tick repellent. This is a dangerous falsehood. Garlic is a member of the allium family, along with onions and chives, which is toxic to dogs in sufficient quantities, causing damage to their red blood cells. Furthermore, there is no scientific evidence that it is effective at repelling parasites. Always use a vet-approved preventative. Myth number 58 revolves around the misconception that puppy socialization is just about dog-on-dog play. While play is part of it, true socialization is much broader. It's about exposing a puppy in a positive, controlled way to all the sights, sounds, surfaces, and types of people it will encounter in its life. Overwhelming a puppy with a chaotic dog park can actually create fear and anxiety. Quality of exposure is far more important than quantity.
Moving on to myth number 59, which is the dangerous belief that a dog's instinct will stop it from eating poison. This is tragically untrue, as evidenced by the thousands of accidental poisonings veterinarians treat each year. Domestic dogs are scavengers and are often not discriminating about what they eat. They are attracted to many things that are toxic to them, including sweet-tasting antifreeze, chocolate, and grapes. It is our responsibility to keep these things out of their reach. Next up is myth number 60, another dominance fallacy, that a dog walking through a door first is trying to be the alpha. A dog that rushes through a door is simply excited to get to the other side, not staging a coup. This behavior is about impulse control, not a quest for power. Teaching a dog to wait politely at a doorway is a useful skill for safety and management, but it has nothing to do with establishing your rank. Myth number 61 suggests that yelling "no" is an effective way to stop bad behavior. To a dog, a loud "no" is often just exciting or frightening noise. It doesn't tell them what you want them to do instead, and if you use it for everything, it loses all meaning. A sharp, short sound like can be more effective at interrupting a behavior, but it must be followed by redirecting the dog to an appropriate action. Let's debunk myth number 62, the idea that a well-trained dog is a perfect robot that never makes mistakes. Dogs are living beings, not machines. Even the most highly trained dog can have an off day, be distracted, or get confused. Expecting perfection sets both you and your dog up for failure and frustration. A strong training foundation simply means you have the tools to manage situations and get back on track when mistakes happen. Myth number 63 is a scary-sounding rumor that giving a dog ice water can cause deadly bloat. This myth spread like wildfire on the internet, but has been thoroughly debunked by veterinarians. Bloat, gastric dilatation volvulus, is a complex condition linked to factors like breed, anatomy, and eating too quickly, but not to ice water. Giving your dog ice cubes or cool water on a hot day is perfectly safe and a great way to help them cool down. At number 64, we have the myth that dog groups have a rigid, linear hierarchy like early studies of wolves suggested. This is wrong on 2 counts. First, the original alpha wolf theory was based on captive, unrelated animals. Natural wolf packs are family units. Second, dogs are not wolves. Their social structures are much more fluid and context-dependent, based on individual relationships rather than a strict top-down chain of command. Myth number 65 is about the popular claim that all doodle mixes are hypoallergenic and low maintenance. While they are often marketed this way, there is no guarantee. Allergens are found in a dog's dander and saliva, not just their hair. Furthermore, their coats are often anything but low maintenance, requiring constant professional grooming to prevent painful matting. A doodle's traits are a genetic lottery, not a predictable formula. Myth number 66 claims that dogs sweat by salivating. While panting helps a dog cool down through evaporation from the tongue and lungs, it is not sweating. Dogs do have sweat glands, but they are primarily located in their paw pads. This is why you might see wet paw prints on a hot day. Their primary method of cooling their body, however, remains panting. The subject of myth number 67 is the incredibly dangerous advice to let 2 fighting dogs work it out. Dogs do not have complex conflict resolution skills. Letting them fight only teaches them that fighting is an acceptable solution. This can lead to severe injuries, trauma, and a permanently damaged relationship between the dogs. It is your responsibility to intervene immediately and safely, and then manage them to prevent future fights. Next up is myth number 68, the simple assumption that a dog yawning just means it's sleepy. While dogs do yawn when they're tired, it is more often a sign of stress or anxiety. A yawn is a common calming signal used to de-escalate a tense situation or to signal their own discomfort. If your dog is yawning repeatedly at the vet or during a training session, it's likely feeling stressed, not ready for a nap. Myth number 69 is the blanket statement that all human food is bad for dogs. While many human foods are dangerous, like chocolate, onions, and grapes, many others are perfectly safe and healthy in moderation. Plain cooked chicken, carrots, green beans, and pumpkin can be excellent additions to a dog's diet. The key is to know which foods are safe and to treat them as special snacks, not the main course. Moving on to myth number 70, which assigns human gender stereotypes to dogs, claiming males are more aggressive and females are more nurturing. In reality, a dog's temperament has far more to do with its individual personality, training, and socialization than its gender. Aggression can be found in both males and females, as can a sweet, nurturing nature. These stereotypes are unhelpful and often inaccurate. Let's debunk myth number 71, the idea that a dog knows what it did wrong hours after the fact. Dogs live in the immediate moment and learn through immediate association. If you come home and punish your dog for a mess it made hours ago, it will not connect the punishment to the mess. It will only connect the punishment to your arrival, leading to fear and anxiety when you walk through the door. Myth number 72 is about the stereotype that greyhounds are hyperactive dogs that need to run all day. This couldn't be further from the truth. Greyhounds are bred for short, explosive bursts of speed, not endurance. Most retired racing greyhounds are surprisingly low energy and are affectionately known as 45-mile-per-hour couch potatoes. They are perfectly happy with a daily walk and a chance for a quick sprint in a safely fenced area. The claim in myth number 73 is that a raw food diet is inherently superior because it's what dogs would eat in the wild. While some dogs do well on raw diets, there are significant risks, including bacterial contamination for both the dog and the humans in the house, and the potential for nutritional imbalances if not formulated correctly. High-quality commercial kibble is nutritionally complete and balanced. The best diet is one that works for the individual dog and is approved by a veterinarian. At number 74, we tackle the dangerous myth that certain breeds are just born aggressive. No dog breed is inherently bad. While some breeds may have a higher prey drive or guarding instincts, aggression is a complex behavior influenced by genetics, training, socialization, and individual environment. Blaming the breed is a simplistic answer to a complex problem and ignores the responsibility of owners to raise well-adjusted dogs. Myth number 75 suggests that it's normal for senior dogs to get grumpy. While behavior can change with age, a sudden shift to grumpiness or antisocial behavior is often a sign of underlying pain or a medical issue. Conditions like arthritis, dental disease, or declining vision can make a dog irritable. Don't just write off a change in temperament as old age. Schedule a vet visit to rule out a medical cause. The subject of myth number 76 is the risky belief that an indoor dog is safe from parasites. Fleas and ticks can easily hitch a ride into your home on your clothes or other pets. Heartworm is transmitted by mosquitoes, which can get inside any house. A dog only needs to be bitten once to be infected. Year-round prevention is the only way to ensure your indoor companion is fully protected. Myth number 77 is the idea that dogs are one-person dogs and can only form a true bond with a single individual. While some dogs may have a favorite person, they are fully capable of forming deep, loving bonds with multiple family members. Dogs are social animals who thrive on connection. The amount of time, care, and positive interaction each person provides will influence the strength of their individual bond with the dog. Have you heard myth number 78? It's the one that says the best dog food is always the one with the highest protein percentage. While protein is essential, more is not always better. The quality and digestibility of the protein source are far more important than the raw percentage. Furthermore, dogs with certain health conditions, like kidney disease, may need a diet with lower protein. The best food is one that is balanced and appropriate for your dog's specific age, size, and health status. Let's debunk myth number 79. The notion that some breeds, like golden retrievers, are born perfect and don't need work. A friendly disposition is a great starting point, but it's not a substitute for training and socialization. A golden retriever puppy that isn't properly socialized can grow up to be fearful or reactive, just like any other dog. All puppies, regardless of breed, require consistent effort to become well-adjusted adult companions. Myth number 80 is the fear that if you adopt an adult dog, you've missed the chance to truly bond. This is completely untrue. Adult dogs are just as capable of forming powerful, deep, and loving bonds as puppies are. In fact, many adult rescue dogs seem to bond even more intensely, as if they understand and appreciate their second chance at a loving home. Love and trust are not limited by age. At number 81, we have the stereotype that Chihuahuas are just naturally shaky dogs. While they can shiver due to being cold because of their small body mass, frequent shaking is often a sign of fear, anxiety, or overexcitement. Because they are so small, people often fail to socialize them properly or respect their boundaries, leading to a state of chronic stress. This shakiness is often a behavioral issue, not an inherent trait.
The subject of myth number 82 is the old advice to keep a puppy locked inside until its vaccination series is complete. While it's crucial to protect a puppy from disease, this advice completely ignores the critical socialization window that closes around 16 weeks. The American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior states that the risk of death due to behavior problems from lack of socialization is far greater than the risk of contracting a disease. The key is safe socialization, avoiding high-risk areas like dog parks, but still exposing them to the world. Myth number 83 claims that dogs don't experience complex emotions like grief or depression. While we can't know for sure what's happening in their minds, their behavior tells a different story. Many dogs show clear signs of depression, lethargy, loss of appetite, lack of interest in play after losing a beloved canine or human companion. They may not process it like we do, but to deny they experience profound sadness is to ignore overwhelming anecdotal evidence. Next up is myth number 84, the belief that rawhide is a perfectly safe chew. Rawhides can pose multiple risks. They can be a choking hazard or cause intestinal blockages if a dog swallows a large piece. Additionally, the manufacturing process can involve harsh chemicals. While some dogs handle them fine, there are many safer alternatives for chewing, such as rubber chew toys or natural options like bully sticks. Myth number 85 is the simplistic assumption that a barking dog is an aggressive dog. Barking is a complex form of communication with many different meanings. A dog might be barking out of excitement, to alert you to something, out of boredom, due to anxiety, or to invite play. Labeling all barking as aggression is a mistake that prevents us from understanding and addressing the real reason behind the noise. Moving on to myth number 86, the dangerous idea that a little bit of chocolate is harmless. The toxicity of chocolate depends on the type of chocolate, the size of the dog, and the amount consumed. Dark chocolate and baker's chocolate are far more dangerous than milk chocolate because they contain more theobromine. Even a small amount can cause vomiting and diarrhea, while larger amounts can lead to seizures and death. It's best to consider all chocolate off-limits. Let's debunk myth number 87, the stereotype that all terriers are stubborn diggers. While the terrier group was bred for traits like tenacity and a drive to go after vermin, which can translate to digging, it's unfair to paint them all with the same brush. An individual dog's personality is shaped by much more than its breed group. A well-exercised and mentally stimulated terrier may show very little of these stereotypical behaviors. At number 88, we have the myth that a high price tag guarantees a high-quality, healthy dog. Price is often determined by breed popularity, not the quality of the breeder. An expensive dog from a puppy mill is still a poorly bred dog with potential health and behavior problems. Conversely, a low-cost adoption from a reputable shelter can bring you a wonderful, healthy companion. Always research the source of the dog, not the price tag.
Myth number 89 is about the idea that a dog's intelligence is measured by its ability to learn obedience cues. This only measures one type of intelligence, trainability. Researchers recognize other types, such as adaptive intelligence, the ability to solve problems on its own, and instinctive intelligence, what the dog was bred to do. A hound with incredible scenting ability is brilliant in its own way, even if it's not interested in learning rollover. The subject of myth number 90 is that a dog can eat the same food its entire life. A dog's nutritional needs change significantly as it moves from puppyhood to adulthood and then into its senior years. Puppies need more calories and specific nutrients for growth. Senior dogs often need fewer calories to prevent obesity and may benefit from ingredients that support joint health. Using a life-stage-appropriate food is crucial for long-term health.
Myth number 91 is the hopeful but unrealistic belief that house training is a one-and-done event. A sudden accident in a previously house-trained dog is often a red flag for a medical issue, such as a urinary tract infection or kidney problems. It can also be a sign of emotional distress, like separation anxiety. Don't assume your dog is being bad. Schedule a visit with your veterinarian. Next up is myth number 92, which states that a shiny coat is the ultimate sign of a perfect diet. While a healthy coat is certainly one indicator of good health, it's not the whole picture. A dog can have a shiny coat but still be eating a diet that lacks other essential nutrients or is causing internal issues. A truly optimal diet will be reflected not just in the coat, but also in healthy energy levels, good digestion, and ideal body condition. Myth number 93 is the common and smelly idea that bad breath is just a normal part of being a dog. While a dog's breath won't smell like roses, excessively foul odor is not normal. It is most often a sign of dental disease, which can be very painful and can lead to more serious health problems if bacteria enter the bloodstream. Chronic bad breath warrants an immediate trip to the vet for a dental checkup. Let's tackle myth number 94, the claim that all puppies are born with worms. While it is very common for puppies to get roundworms and hookworms from their mother, either in utero or through her milk, it is not a 100% guarantee. This is why a proper deworming protocol starting at a very young age is standard practice for responsible breeders and shelters. It's a common issue, but not an absolute certainty for every single puppy. At number 95, we have the spooky myth that dogs can sense ghosts or other paranormal entities. The reality is that dogs have 5 senses that are far more acute than our own. A dog that seems to be barking at nothing may be hearing a high-frequency sound we can't detect, smelling something from far away, or even sensing subtle vibrations in the floor. Their 6th sense is just a masterful use of the 5 they already have. Myth number 96 is the feel-good but flawed idea that love is all a dog needs. Love and affection are essential, but they are not a substitute for training and clear communication. Training provides mental structure, teaches a dog how to live successfully in our human world, and prevents problem behaviors from developing. It builds a language between you and your dog, which strengthens your bond far more than just affection alone. The subject of myth number 97 is that tail chasing is always a cute and playful quirk. While it can be an occasional playful act in puppies, persistent tail chasing in adult dogs is often a sign of a compulsive disorder, similar to OCD in humans. It can be caused by boredom, anxiety, or a lack of stimulation. If your dog is obsessively chasing its tail, it's a behavior that should be addressed with a vet or a professional behaviorist. Moving on to myth number 98, which suggests that a puppy's baby teeth are temporary and don't require care. It's important to get your puppy comfortable with you handling its mouth and brushing its teeth from a young age. This sets the stage for a lifetime of good dental hygiene. It also allows you to monitor for any retained baby teeth, where a baby tooth fails to fall out and can cause problems for the incoming adult tooth. Next up is myth number 99, the belief that a barking dog with a wagging tail is always a happy dog. As we learned earlier, a wagging tail just means arousal, and barking has many meanings. A dog could be giving an anxious, fearful, or even aggressive warning bark while its tail is wagging stiffly. You must look at the entire picture, the type of bark, the posture of the body, the look in the eyes, to understand the dog's true emotional state. Finally, let's debunk myth number 100, the idea that dogs understand our language. While dogs are brilliant at learning specific cue words like sit or walk, they do not process syntax or grammar. They are responding to the sound of the word paired with our tone of voice, body language, and a history of reinforcement. When you deliver a long lecture to your dog about chewing the furniture, all they understand is that you are present and emotionally upset.